Favorite lineup? 1.9% financing on 2020 Corollas, Camrys, RAV4s, Tacomas, and Tundra pickups. And no payments for 90 days on every new and certified pre-owned Toyota. Speaking of certified pre-owned Toyotas, they have over 150 available. And listen to this. Right now, you can get 0% long-term financing on all certified Camrys and RAV4s, or 1.9% financing on certified Corollas and Tacomas. So don't miss out on the best.
This is an Electra 8-track stereo player / AM, FM, FM-MPX stereo. The model number is HA-8, and this is also made in Japan. Not much I can find online about this Electra brand. I do know that it was sold at Sears probably during the mid to late 70s. I found this at a Deseret thrift store. It's fully functional. I'm gonna go ahead and demo the radio, the FM radio. Just talking about some of the features. It's got a headphone jack. It's got a volume control, balance control, bass control, treble, and it's got about 6 different settings. You got your tape player, you got your AM, FM, FM AFC, FM stereo, and phono. And then this is the tuning wheel to control the stereo. The radio itself has this very nice, it's kind of dim there, but it does have your kind of like your analog display, and it is backlit. Okay. And then you want to hear it in stereo.
And as all the best hosts know, Smart & Final's your barbecue headquarters. They've got the variety you need to satisfy every mouth at the cookout at prices that'll really satisfy your wallet. So from one great host to another, this summer, shop all the best deals at Smart & Final. Like 16-ounce Jenny O ground turkey, just $2.77 each, limit 2. The sound of the grill can mean only one thing. Summer's here. Smart & Final. One trip and that's it.
The Inland Empire's #1 for classic hits.
So there's the view from the back. You do have an FM antenna that's probably directly connected to the chassis. It's about 300 ohms. You got your ground, and then you also have an antenna for the AM, which I do not have connected. Presumably you could put a turntable in here. I've heard and I've watched V Westlife's channel, and he often mentions that you could actually put a turntable with a ceramic cartridge in here, so because you don't see the little thing for the ground, so presumably you could play one of those turntables. And then consistent with the time, and then you do have your speakers. Now again, these come with these sort of AV type of plugs. When I bought this, it didn't have the correct type of cables, so I've actually basically homebrewed speaker cables, and I've installed these jacks for AV, so that I can use them for to play these speakers. And you do get a plug if you want to, I guess, plug in your turntable in here, and you could plug it in here so that it powers it up. These speakers were really low end. I have taken this apart, and I have went ahead and replaced the speakers that came with this. I'm going to go ahead and just show briefly the speakers that were inside the speaker box. So I just wanted to show the original speakers that came with this. I have them packed away in the box of the new speakers that I used. So these were basically 5-watt type of speakers. This is kind of like the quality that they were built with. Very basic. Cone is very small. The magnet is very small. So I went ahead and took these out. What would happen is when I would put this full blast, you would get a lot of distortion because I just feel that you were overloading the capabilities of these speakers. So what I ended up doing is one day I was at a Goodwill and I decided to buy these because these were exactly the same size as these are 4-inch speakers that came with the original. So I put these on there, 40 watts, and these are probably from the 80s as well, or from the, yeah, probably from the 80s because it does have the barcode. And just some specs on those speakers just so you can get an idea of what I put in. And these are made in Japan. They're ES-S41s. I presume that these probably, you could install them in a car. So I use these, and now that's what's inside of this. And that's why when you put on the radio,
That's boomernaturals.com, your source for in-stock face covers.
This is Dr. Muntu Davis, Los Angeles County Public.
so when you put the radio on,
Become sick or die
and you
from
can put a full
COVID-19.
blast.
Studies show that the black community is at higher risk, as are people 65 years and older, people in nursing homes, and people with underlying health conditions. If you have to be outside, practice physical distancing. Keep 6 feet from others, and wear a cloth face covering. Wash your hands often for at least 20 seconds. Let's keep our communities.
You could put this full blast and it will not distort. Whereas the original speakers, you put them too loud, it would just be very distortive and you wouldn't get a very clear, clean sound. So I'm going to go ahead and just demonstrate the tape player. So hopefully I don't get copyright flagged for this, but it's the only tape, 8-track player tape that I have. And then just turn it on to tape. So you can see that no matter how loud I turn it up, it will not be distorted. So I think this was a very good upgrade for this player, which I've had already for about a year, and it's worked flawlessly. So I also briefly wanted to demonstrate how this amplifier 8-track player can handle playing records. I went ahead and got my Crosley record player. This uses a ceramic cartridge, and this has been plugged in directly from its base over to the phono input for the record player that this machine should be able to play. So I'm going to go ahead and demo that. I'm going to go ahead and just switch it over to phono. Turn the volume up a little bit. And what I've done with this Crosley is that I've added a binder clip on the tone arm. This helps with the tracking. It lightens the tone arm significantly. So I put that on there just for when I use it. Not that I think will damage the records. I mean, records are designed to handle up to 5 grams of tracking. But you know, I'm gonna go ahead and put that on the tone arm just to be safe. And I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on. And I don't need to turn on the volume on the turntable speakers because they're not gonna be needed. And I'm just gonna put on Basically, for my own amusement, I've gone ahead and found my 8-track adapter, and I have my Bend Sound sampler cassette. So I'm gonna put that in and see what kind of sound we get out of it. So what are my final thoughts of this Electra 8-track player? I think it's a novelty, quite honestly, because the sound that I'm getting here is not the best. The tape deck for the 8-tracks is not too bad. I mean, it doesn't warble that much, but I really don't have any practical use for any other parts of this. It is kind of nice that you can adjust the bass and treble, but I don't really see too much of a difference when I do that. I played around with it a little bit during my video shoot, and I couldn't get the sound that I was kind of looking for, more fuller, but not too over bassy. And I couldn't just get that controlling these things. So I mean, I don't know if it's just the amp or the quality of the amp, or I know it wasn't the speakers, because the speakers are definitely an upgrade from what this had. And like I mentioned earlier, when I had the original speakers on here, you know, you turn up this thing maybe even halfway and you get some distortion. So I had to change those and get these new speakers that could handle a little bit more output. So I don't know. I mean, I just don't think that this would be... I mean, if you're single or you're in an apartment and you wants to have something like this in your apartment to show people, I suppose that could be cool. And if you do have some 8-track tapes that you want to test, I mean, this will do the job just fine. I wouldn't say that you can expect the best quality out of it. And if you're gonna do that, my suggestion is probably just to plug this onto one of your another amplifier and use it that way, because you're probably gonna get a better sound out of it. These speakers here, they sound okay. I've tried them out on other components, and they sound much better than they sound here plugged into this. But I just think that you're not going to get that much better sound out of this, and you know, you just have to accept it as is. I didn't pay too much for this. I mean, they come with the speakers, so I ended up paying about maybe 20 bucks for it. And I've enjoyed it because it was basically my first 8-track player. I've gotten several other 8-track players after this. And right now I actually have my main one is a Pioneer 8-track player. So this is just basically in the garage for when I want to play 8-track tapes. And I don't use it for pretty much anything else other than that. So anyways, this is the Electra HA-8. And I hope you enjoyed my demo of this, and hope to see you again in another video. Thank you.